I'm Kim Mellor, just a girl who decided to go for it. For the past 7 years, I've taken one step every day in the direction of my dreams to become who I am today. A former model turned spirit junkie and lifestyle entrepreneur who is on a mission to help you make shifts in your development. Each week, I'll bring you a guest, inspiration, or tools to help you dig deep within your soul and discover that magic within you. Are you ready to step into the person you were born to become? This is the Soul Digger Podcast. Hello, Soul Diggers. Welcome to another episode of the Soul Digger Podcast. And it's my absolute pleasure to be welcoming live with me my gorgeous best friend, Gina Swire. How are you, Gina?
I am buzzing for a few different reasons. One, because #life, and two, because I just had a huge matcha.
Wonderful. Amazing. Well, it's a pleasure to have you back on the show because your podcasts have been the top ranking podcasts since I started in April. So you've just got so much value and knowledge and wisdom to share with my listeners. So I'm so excited that you're on again.
You know what though, that's magnetism for you, which we're going to be talking about today.
Oh, I love that.
It's the dynamic, it's the vibe.
Oh, yeah. So we've had so many people messaging us saying, oh my gosh, I love your and Gina's friendship. And we went to Ibiza for the summer, as you may know, and we went on a road trip for 10 weeks. And the amount of people that said, oh my gosh, I wish I had a friend like you.
10 weeks?
It was 10 weeks.
Oh, I thought it was longer than that. Felt like it.
Drag checking. And we just want other people to have this, right? And we're so passionate about sisterhood and collaboration and friendship that we wanted to do a podcast on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the amount of women and men actually, that road trip, that living together, the amount of comments we got just saying either, I wish I had a friend like that, I feel completely different to all my friends, you know, how do you have a friend even? And, you know, a lot of things that we're going to come on to today that we found like, oh my God, like it really gave us like, we were always really grateful for each other, but it gave us like such a massive new layer of gratitude for our friendship and for our sisterhood. So yeah, we wanted to share this and just like share more about the how and the what and the why, because this is a big part of why we are who we are.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things we want you guys to take away from this is it's possible for you. You don't have to settle. You don't have to dim yourself and be a part of a community or people that don't support you, who don't make you feel good, because your environment is really important. And for me personally, I've always been someone who's had lots of boyfriends. And I think I was just felt a little bit unsafe around women growing up, especially being a model. It's a very competitive industry. And you could be sat in a casting room with 20 other blonde models that look exactly the same. And what's going on through my head when I'm in this room is, oh my goodness, I need to be better than these women. Am I better than them? I'm not as good as them. I'm not enough. And it just fueled this fear behind women. And I just felt really unsafe. What was your experience with modeling?
I didn't really have that. For me personally, it was all internalized as I was too busy focusing on that I wasn't enough to really, I just took it as a given that they were going to get the job, which is so sad to think about because I often did get the job. But I used to think, which is really sad now to think of, and it makes my toes curl slightly, that if I booked a job, it was because none of the other blondes were available. That's what I used to believe somewhere in there, which is so sad because actually the clients wanted to pick me because, like, this is a different topic, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I think that it's not just based on looks. Like, yes, looks come into it, but the vibe and the light that beams out of someone is what the clients were looking for. So I think that's actually why I was getting the jobs. But that's a side note.
Interesting.
Self-love.
Yeah. So I suppose the question is, how did, someone like myself go from having lots of boy mates and not having many girl mates to then transitioning? And I'd say a lot of it is down to the work I've done with you. Self-love, self-worth, trusting, and just finding real nourishing relationships within tribes of women. Never before had I come together with a group of women to share vulnerably, to fully be seen. And I think women, we really need that. We need to come together. We need to vent our frustrations and be vulnerable and let people see us.
Yeah, I agree for sure. And I'm just remembering, it's like things to say, coming in thick and fast. So we've been friends for over 15 years and we met through modeling, and we've gone through all the stages together. So that's partly why we have this strong relationship. But when we first met, these were the days where we were both models. All our friends were models, pretty much. We would party like mofos every weekend. It was all about dressing up. It was all about how good your makeup is, how good your clothes are, how good your exterior is, because that was the only way to get love back then. Well, or so it felt. It wasn't the truth. But in those times, literally, I was giving all of my power away. I was disempowering myself more and more and more by thinking if I went out and I looked really good and better than my other people with me, then I would get love. That was the way to get love, because I was only validating from the outside, which looked like going into a bar dressed up like crazy, spending 3 hours trying to look perfect, which would never happen. And I would then fail. I would fail constantly at looking perfect, I felt. Go to a bar, and then if I wasn't getting attention from the outside, from men usually, or even women, then I'd be like, right, I'm not good enough. I need to change something. I need to do my makeup better. I need to wear a better dress. I need to be more eye-catching. Oh my God, how exhausting was that? And that was really competitive. And I can remember I was living with a friend of ours, and she was really good at doing makeup, and she was really good at choosing dresses. And that's what I thought. And I thought I wasn't, even though looking back I was. And she'd come out with this gorgeous makeup look. And I was like, I can't think she looks beautiful without devaluing my beauty. That's how it worked back then. And so then it was like, I'm going to have to go back to my room and sort the shit out. It's really sad, isn't it? What? No, all the no's. But that is what it was. We were taught to compete. And this outside validation thing was really fueling that in my experience. And now the difference is exponential.
Oh, all the things. Yeah, living that life from the outside in. We never saw each other. So although we've known each other for 15 years, I'd say the past maybe 2 or 3 have been really on another level of depth. Maybe 4 or 5 years, just another level of depth and vulnerability. And, because of the work that you do with your self-love, you're working on yourself on a deeper level, so you can see other people at that level too. And I think whenever you're swimming in this shallow end of life and you are just living in reaction and you're so focused on the external, you can't see other people's depth because you don't see it in yourself. And this is why, I'm so passionate about personal development and spiritual development, because you can have all the external things in the world, but it's that real depth of meaning and nourishment which sets your soul on fire. And it was a sisterhood and the friendships that I was really missing. I'd go out on a Friday night, I'd have acquaintances and we'd party, and that just wasn't nourishing anymore. And then I started to attend your retreats and work on self-love and be around groups of women and discuss things and share things. And no longer was it about this external validation. It was like, let me see you, let me see your soul, share what's happening for you, and really celebrating being vulnerable. I think that's always been really scary for me. It's like, oh my God, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. That was one of my programs. Just pretend everything's perfect, push it all under the carpet. But there's real power in vulnerability, in sharing.
Yeah. I mean, we'll come on to yesterday at some point. But yeah, when I share, I'm in a new relationship and it's great. And also it's a trigger fest. Like, also I'm feeling like, can I actually do this? And it hurts. And when I share that, people feel the human in me, and they know that, because everyone's probably felt that in a relationship, like, shit, what if this isn't going to work, or it's not working? And everyone's like, okay, now I can relax, you know, rather than like, yeah, everything's great, relationship's great, sex is great, like, oh yeah, it's like, great, good for you, I don't know anything about you now. Deep breath.
Breathe that one in.
So I just want to loop back a little bit to like the early days with this comparison and competition and all of these things that were very normal, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're there, it's not that you're wrong, and none of it's wrong. We weren't wrong. We weren't doing something wrong. I don't ever want to make anyone wrong, or us wrong, or our past selves wrong. It's just where we're at, and it was right for them. And there's a better way, and there's a different way, and that way works for us and helps create this. And it might not work for someone else. So yeah, everything we're sharing is a suggestion. It's something that worked for us in our experience. Like, there's no right and wrong with this. So after that comparison stage, and we were very much fueled by alcohol, by exterior things and things. Boys, very, very motivated by men. Very, 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 very extremely motivated by the D. Can we say that? She went there. Oh yeah, she did. And yeah, we were, weren't we?
Yeah.
I'm going to put the AC on.
It's hot in Bali. By the way, we're sat on my bed in Bali together, just looking out at the pool, recording a podcast together. Like, life is good. Wow. Yeah.
And we want you to have this. If you're not having a life that lights you up, that's straight from your vision board, we want to inspire you to have that. And if you've not got that, reach out to us, because we have stuff that will help you get this. Like, this wasn't always the way, and now it is.
Yeah. So why do you think people don't have it?
What
we have?
Many reasons. I think, and I could have been this person. I've always had a lot of friends. I've always been in groups of girls, and I've always had great friendships. And kind of my school, college friend days were so fun, you know, party friends and all the things. And yeah, we had amazing friendships. And then I started to change quite dramatically. And I think I'd always been quite dramatically different, but I was numbing it with alcohol, with shopping, with men, with all the things, with busyness. And personally, my spiritual growth like kicked off at a certain point. And when that happened, I very quickly my relationship to my main friendship group became toxic. Like, it wasn't me that was toxic. It wasn't them that was toxic. It takes two bodies to be toxic, to have a toxic relationship. And so, a dynamic thing, like, I was vegetarian all of a sudden. I wanted to go to places that did vegan food. I wanted to not do all the drinking. I remember at this party, I was so passionate about recycling and things that we were having someone's birthday, and they were like, let's just get loads of throwaway cutlery so we don't have to tidy up. We can just chuck it all in the bin, and then we'll go out to the theatre. And I was like, hold on, I can't have Mother Earth suffering in this way. Hold on, let me just pull that dagger out of my heart. And I was like, I will tidy everything. I'll get there early, stay there late, and I will tidy everything, do the dishwasher, everything. And they were so triggered by that, which is, I get it now. And we were just different. We were on different pages. And now we're on the same page. That would never happen because we both want that. And it was things like that that were coming up all the time. And as well, there was a lot of TV watching. There was a lot of screenshotting of people's spelling mistakes on the Instagram or Facebook. There was like bitchiness. There was these things that at one time I was involved in. I'll put my hands up. Like, it was fun. It was funny. It was like laughing at someone else's expense was our humor. And then all of a sudden I became this like spiritually connected, conscious woman, and a lot of things didn't matter to me anymore. And other things really mattered to the deepest point, and it had to be that way for me to transform. And all of a sudden there was all this toxic energy. And so I stayed in that for quite a while, and it was really painful for me. And there's a WhatsApp group and it's going all the time. And I was just like, ah. And then eventually I was like, okay, that's it. I choose to come out of the WhatsApp group. I love you dearly. If you want to talk one-on-one, but I'm not going to be in this group anymore. And that was a really, really, well, it was an easy decision actually, but it was a tough decision, because it's like I'm losing part of my identity. Those are the friends I've had for years. And what I know now is that I was clearing the space for something that was more aligned. And Kim has made it through all the years.
All the hoops.
All the hoops.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Yeah. I love that. And one thing that screamed out to me then is that the values, as your core values, didn't align with the friends. And so you have to just keep following. This is a big thing for me, is through my spiritual growth and development, is identifying what do I want, who am I, what are my values, and then the people that are also on that path get attracted to you. And that's why we're able to be living in Bali, because our values, freedom is a big one.
Yeah. Ouch.
Big one. Health and friendship and connection. And when you meet someone who's the same as you, that's when it's just really simple.
That's when you feel you've met a soul sister and you instantly click, and you're like our friend Amy, the first time I met her was in a workshop. And to be fair, the workshop was at Bali Spirit Festival, which is about spirit and personal development. And we ended up in a little exercise for 2 minutes together, and we exchanged whatever it was we were doing. And I was like, you're my new best friend. That's it. Like, sisters forever. And she was exactly the same, and we've become like really, really close friends. And it's just instant, like attracts like. We're at the exact same point in our journey of what we're doing and what we're creating and who we are. And it's just like, boom, soul sisters, there we go.
And so what I really heard in that is, like, you've both been doing the work, like you're doing the work, and because of that you become a magnet. And one thing that I love about our relationship is, like, we don't really trigger each other. There's no gossip, there's no blame, because we take ownership of ourselves and we do the work. We love ourselves. We do all the self-love work, because you're the best self-love expert in the world. We're soon to have the book out. And you see things differently. And I feel really safe with you, because I know if anything isn't aligned for you, or if something has rubbed you up the wrong way that I've done, you'll come and speak to me about it with love, and I'll receive it with love. Yeah. So that makes me feel really safe. I think a lot of women, from my experience, I didn't feel safe around a lot of women, because I just didn't want the whole gossiping and backstabbing, and I just like to be open and upfront and transparent. Powerful.
Yeah, there's a lot in there, a lot. And it is a journey. Yeah. And so when I had to kind of say goodbye to what I knew in those friendships, I went away to India, and I was having a massive growth journey, doing yoga and all things, like training in yoga and learning about meditation and all these things. And when I came back, I didn't realize like how much it hurt them that I broke away, and they felt a bit abandoned. And I just wanted to love them, but from afar. And so, yeah, it's been, and then for the next few years, there was certain ones that I kept in touch with and certain ones that not. Then a big event came along and I was supposed to be going to it. And I chose to spend my time going to Burning Man and speaking in an two LA talk shows that were sandwiched Burning Man. And this big event was during Burning Man, which I thought was also really ironic because they know I'm like, Burning Man's such a huge part of my life. And this event was placed in the middle of Burning Man. Who knows if it's like on purpose or not, or even subconsciously. Like, I believe everything was happening for a reason. And I chose to spend my time with my friends that I align with and not with the friends that I've known the longest and have the deepest roots with, because I really, really, really value, well, my business. I really value my passions like Burning Man. I really value my friends that I'm aligned with. And I put way less weight on the things I should do. Like, I felt myself saying over and over again, I should be going to this wedding. I should be doing this. I should keep this connection in the friendship. Like I should. And I just knew I didn't want to do that. And I chose not to do that. And all my friends who are in the same headspace and stage of the journey were like, good for you. You know, you did the thing. Well done. We're proud of you. And then the people that I used to be friends with were super offended and triggered and said that I should be ashamed of myself and that, you know, one day all this is going to come crashing down. These are the actual words. One day all this is going to come crashing down and no one's going to be there for you. And I just thought that response was just very telling. Like, I would never, I'm the self-love queen. I would never tell someone to be ashamed of themselves, no matter what ever happened in their life, whatever they've done, they need love, not shame. No, this is like a hard no. And I was just like, okay, I've made the right decision. And I felt really sad and upset. I felt the pain of upsetting people and not being a people pleaser and not singing someone else's song sheet. I felt all that. And I really went through it. I was with you in Ibiza, remember, at my retreat. It really hurt me. But at the same time, I knew I was doing the right thing. And I felt really good about what I was doing. So this, unfortunately, even in personal growth, you have to kiss goodbye and say thank you to your old versions of you. And you have to watch them die. And same in friendships, same in romantic relationships. Like, if your partner is not growing with you and you're on a mission to grow like we are, and you probably are if you're watching this, you have to say goodbye, unless you want to remain the same, which equates to kind of like dying a slow death. So big.
So on this note of letting go, what are some tools or tangible tips people can implement to let go of some, like if they think, oh my God, I really need to distance myself from a certain group of people, how do you start to do that?
Well, audits. So doing an audit, you know, you can do it with the moon, you can do it on the new year, you can do it on your birthday. I do it every time we go on an aeroplane, which is usually a lot, but this year not so much. Or a ferry. We did it on the ferry. Oh, we did do it in Bilbao's. We left a load of shit in Bilbao's, which is actually called Bilbao. Bilbao in Spain. It was like the bowels of Spain. So we left a lot of shit there to be composted into positivity. And so auditing your life and just put a line down your piece of paper. What doesn't feel good? What's not working? What's feeling resistant? What is like, you know, what's not going well for you? And then on the other side, what's going really well? So this can include friends, places, foods, habits, partners, things you do in sex, things you eat, like patterns, like staying up really late or but getting up really early doesn't work for me, which is controversial. Yeah, so what's really working for you? And it's basically calling in more of this and letting go of more of that to create space. And spaciousness, cannot tell you, like every retreat, every course, every book, which is only one, thank God, everything that I do, coaching program, group coaching, starts with creating space. So clearing out your home, decluttering, getting rid of clothes in your wardrobe that don't fit you, that make you feel like shit, that you might be saving till a day when you hate yourself into wearing that thing. Like, get rid all the things, anything that does not align, let it go. And burn it, burn your old clothes, do a ceremony around it and create space. And so when I created that space with my friends and I said no to what I don't want, I had a period of loneliness, and that sucked and that hurt. And usually I lean on relationships, on partying, on drink, on shopping on ASOS, on all these things to numb things and fill spaces, fill the void. And when that void was there in the spaciousness, that is the test. And I always say there's at least a 2-month lag for the universe sometimes, not always, but often a 2-month lag between asking for the thing, creating the space and waiting for it to come in. This is the important part. It's like when if you want to lose some weight or if you want to work out and tone your muscles, you don't just go once and then be like, it doesn't work, and then you go back to your junk food. You have to wait for the results to come in a bit. And same with manifestation, same with this stuff. And in that time, in my experience and in yours probably, you will be tested by the universe. Oh, do you really want that? What about if we stick this old friend who doesn't serve you, who, comes to you with a major problem and invites you to something cool or wants to take you out to a party and get you drunk? Are you going to stick to your values, or are you going to, drop back into that old version of yourself? It's your choice. So if you can stay in that vibration, stay with it, trust that everything you want is called in, is coming. And then what happened for me is I then started to magnetize what I do want. So friends who enjoyed yoga and travel and cosmic shit and would invite me to, a raw vegan. I mean, I was super into raw vegan stuff then. Raw vegan night with a psychic woman who, I'm talking about Caroline here. Do you remember when we went to a house and we did a medium thing and we were doing oil pulling? I remember that picture of us all with our cheeks full of coconut oil.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, this is right. These women want to hear about me. They want to see me. They want to learn about me. And I want to learn about them. I'm interested. They can teach me things. And it's this dance. And I was like, yes. And as that's gone on, travel's been a huge part of it for me, going and putting myself in these conscious communities, whether it's India, whether it's LA, in Venice, where I lived for a while, whether it's in Bali, in Ibiza, all these places where these kind of people congregate. Putting myself in that and by osmosis learning from them. And I honestly think my business would be nowhere near what it is now if I didn't move to Bali, because everyone's working online. You're learning all the time just by hanging out with people.
Wow. Ooh. Woo. Breathing that one in.
Preach it, says her.
Woo. Okay, so we've also had a few controversial questions about, are you and Gina lesbian?
Well,
we make a hot couple.
We didn't tell you this, but this is why we're here. This is our big announcement. What do you say, Kimmy?
Although you would make the best wife, and
that could be a lot easier. We should maybe consider that.
Oh, let's put that on the list. So yeah.
No, we like the D.
Yeah, we do. You're lesbians. You're living with Gina and her boyfriend Vincent. Are you
3 people together.
Yeah, you're obviously having
Sure.
threesomes every night. In your imagination, people. You go imagine that.
Yeah. So why do you think people might,
Not that we're against that. If we wanted to do
Oh,
that,
yeah.
we would do it. But
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
especially in Bali, lots of people go on dates with 3 people. You know, it's the norm. Well, that's really not our thing. So why do you think people get a bit, you know, oh, are you lesbians? Why is that?
Well, we are very tactile, which in the Western world is not really, well, we weren't brought up like that.
Oh my God, a year ago, I was not at all tactile. I was rigid as a board.
Kim wouldn't even like get changed in the same room as me at my retreat a year ago.
No,
I was blatantly naked.
You were walking around naked, and I was like, didn't know where to look. I was like, I'm just going to get changed in the bathroom.
Oh, now look at you.
Get my clothes off at any chance.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's this freedom. Like, what is that? And I used to be like that as well before living in Bali and doing all the crazy things that I've done that have uncased me back to my raw, wild, natural self. Like, children give no fucks about being naked. And neither do elderly people. No, I don't know about that for sure. But at some point, we lose that freedom and we then encase ourselves literally in clothes, in shoes, in all the things. And obviously we go to work or we go in the city. It would be slightly different if everyone was walking around naked. But why? Like, why is nudity so frowned upon and sexualized? And Burning Man was a huge thing for me because at Burning Man, the first year I went, I had a fully naked day. And it was so liberating and so normal to walk around naked and love it and run up to people. Like, people literally run up to you who are naked and hug you that are full of dust. And you climb up.
Before Corona.
Pre-lurgy. And you climb up pieces of art that people put in the desert for your pleasure naked, and you just are free to do that. And so it just made me start to question everything, all this lack of freedom. And yeah, like not being able to be in the same room as a friend who's naked. Like, why? Why can't you like even look at someone's body and think, wow, that's amazing? Or
not sexualize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you can sexualize it. You can be like, you look hot. And you don't have to be a lesbian to do that. But the minute any note of that comes out, you must be a lesbian. You must be. There's no other possible explanation for it.
It's bonkers. It's putting labels on people and relationships. And, you know, I think a big thing for us is like our inner childs like really are out a lot. And so when our inner childs are out, like we're just so fun and childlike and innocent and it's really connected. And just letting ourselves go and not be in this adult or parenting mode. It's just like super fun.
Exactly. And so yesterday we were with a bunch of our friends. It was one of the girls' birthdays. And a lot of our friends are like sex, love, relationship, body, yoni coaches. And they're all into like sacred sex and relationships and these things that are a little bit taboo to a lot of people. And a few years ago, even 1 year ago, to Kimmy would have been like, oh, maybe even still are a little bit. But it's so nice to be with all these women who are really empowered and really free. And yeah, like our conversations are so satiating. And one of the questions last night, well, there was a big kind of revelation in our group and everyone, and it was really vulnerable for this one particular sister to share this. And then when she shared it, like her deepest depths, everybody in the whole group agreed and was like, yeah, we all want the same thing. And it was just so, it was like fireworks went off in our lives. And then another question, we were talking about contraception and like, how does everyone do this? And it's not just because none of us take any like random hormones or the pill or any of that kind of stuff. Like, that's long gone, putting fake stuff in your body. But then, you know, we all want to engage in this conscious sex. And how does everyone go about it? So we engaged in this conversation, and the way people share so freely and so proudly about sex and about all these things is just so nourishing, because that's real. And being in England, where you can't even put your arm around your girl mate unless someone says you're a lesbian and you're having a thing, it's like, ugh, no.
Yeah, big no.
Yeah.
Okay, so our listeners might be thinking, okay, this sounds really good, but how do I even get started? Where do I find people? How do I find women to really become soul sisters?
Okay, so a couple of things. There's like the kind of physical way, in terms of going on meetup things or going to whatever you're interested in, where you think these kind of people will be. So for me, that started off with going to a great yoga studio with a community. And when I met those people, I realized they were into health, they were into spirituality, they were into travel. They were thinking differently. They don't wear loads of makeup. It was this new tribe of people that were like glowing. And I was like, whatever this is, I want a piece of it. So for me, that was how I built my initial community. So finding somewhere, whether it's on Meetup, whether it's through Facebook events, there's so many cool things. Even buying a course like the one you've just bought, with our friend who Kim's now part of a tribe that are all learning together. My 12-step self-love transformation, it's like 88 women at the moment. It's about to launch again. And they come together and they're all like-minded, and they instantly connect on this deepest layer. And that for me was huge. So being part of something where these same kind of people hang out, and all of a sudden you go from being the black sheep to the sparkly sheep. Like, you're fully accepted and seen in a non-judgmental space. You're talking about the things that really light you up. You can say whatever you want, and you will be acknowledged for that. And it's not just like, yeah, everything's great. It's like, oh, I see you in your opinion, and I think this. Like, will you see me in my opinion? It's this beautiful, like, sisterhood space. So that's one thing. But then the deeper thing is the magnet. So you become a magnet when you say no to what you don't want and create the space, and you be what you do want. And when you be it, when you are it, when you exude it, when you are not willing to settle for anything less than you can have, and it's in the knowing you can have it. You don't need to know how, but you need to know what. So if you put it on your vision board that you want a tribe of conscious spiritual women to talk about sacred sex and sacred squirters, that one comes up a lot. If you want that, put it on your vision board and know you can have it. You are worthy of having that. You don't need to do or have more than you are to be part of that. And that is what magnetizes it. So basically, the self-love work is the steps to prepare you for the relationship you want, for the type of friends you want, for the type of life you want, for the type of income you want. Like, that's what magnetizes it. And yeah.
And just on that note, I had some major shifts when I came to your retreat last year. So many shifts around loving myself and feeling worthy. And I think a lot of the shifts in my life have come from your retreat and working with you and doing your 12-step program and just being around you. And it's just been such a gift.
You're the gift.
Thank you for being a real gift.
You're the real gift. You're an angel.
Oh,
you're an actual angel. Kim is literally the purest, as you know, because you listen to this podcast, literally has the purest heart of anyone probably ever met. You do.
Oh, that's so cute.
You're so pure. You just want the best for everyone. Even at your own expense sometimes, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Okay.
But we're working on it. And that's what makes you so pure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. What an amazing episode this has been. Please do screenshot this episode. Let's share it with women all around the world And if there's any men that are listening, you know, last night as well, I opened up to Megan, one of our friends, Megan, her husband is part of a man's circle. So, you know, there's lots of things out there for men as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not just the women, but we do have some magical energy when we come together as women. That's for sure. Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, please do reach out. Please screenshot this and share this with the world, because the world definitely needs to hear this, especially right now.
Can I make a request?
Yes.
When you do share it, I always message back and say what really stood out for you, because that gives us feedback and it gives us like help. So if you do screenshot this, tell us one thing on it that really stood out for you. Otherwise, I'll message you and ask you anyway.
Amazing. Well, Gina Swire, I'm so grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you.
And I can't wait for your book to come out. And I can't wait for 12 steps in January. Yay. And at the moment of this being released, you are doing a 12 steps of Christmas.
I am that. 12 days of Christmas. Keep saying it wrong. Anyway, so every single day we are having a special guest expert. So if you are wanting a little bit more self-love, if you're wanting to dive deeper into some of these topics, if you want a bit of inspiration, if you just feel you want a bit more connection, there'll be other women like-minded that you can connect with in this way. And yeah, self-love brings all the girls to the yard. And
perfect. If people want more friendships, head over to the group.
Exactly. That's what it's for. It's the Infinite Self-Love Society. It's a society of women who want self-love and want that. So it's the perfect place to meet people. So every day we're having a guest. I'm going to be interviewing them on some like touchy topics and some self-love stuff. And every day there's going to be a step that you will do on a thread, and it will build up to a transformation before Christmas. So if you want to join, it's all free. It's a 12-day program and it's just half an hour a day. So come and join in the Infinite Self-Love Society. Can we put the link?
We can put the link.
We can put the link. We'll put the link.
Amazing.
We will put the link.
Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, keep digging deep into that soul, because the magic is within you.
Tara Cassie.
Namaste.
Thank you so much for spending time with me today on another episode of the Soul Digger podcast. I am so excited to watch you step into the person you were born to become. Please do share this with a friend, tag me on social media, and help spread this message all around the world. And head over to iTunes, leave me a 5-star review. It really does help to know that I'm adding value to your life. So until next time, keep digging deep, because that magic is within you.